Uxmal.
Está asociado a los 18 meses de 20 días cada uno en el calendario maya.
This one was also dedicated to the sun god, although this is called the Court of the Birds because of the carvings. This in the center was an altar which stood in front of the Pyramid of Magicians, and up at the top the opening was only for the priests.
Justinian is famous also for appointing a commission that has the local laws combined, which results in something called the Corpus of Civil Law. Corpus meaning referring to body. This is Justinian. They're his advisors. He picks what he finds are the best minds, legal minds, and scholars of the time to be on his commission. And they create this, the Corpus Juris Civilis, as we said again, the Corpus of Civil Law, sometimes referred to as Justinian's Code. Going on to look at the Crusades a little bit here. A crusade, this were these military expeditions to regain the Holy Land. We talked about those in class, and I'll probably later on record that for future classes, that PowerPoint we went through in class today. The Crusades were called for three main reasons. A, free the Holy Land from Muslim control because the Christians decided we need to get that back. Secondly, we want to aid the Byzantines in Constantinople. These guys are still Christians, and we want to help them in their struggle against the Muslims. And we hope to heal that split between the church in the East and the West. In the East, the Eastern Orthodox Church, the Byzantines, and in the West, the Roman Catholic Church. Okay, now peasants are enticed to this by several things. A freedom from those feudal bonds, those ties that might have tied them to the estate if they were a serf, or the obligations they were required under feudal law. This would free them from those to become sort of freemen and a chance to have their own land. There's a promise of immediate salvation. If you die, if you kill or die on the Crusades, it's straight to heaven for you. So that's a get out of hell free card, so to speak. And there's also the possibility of becoming wealthy. I'm not going to get to become a noble. That's a misconception. But I might get enough wealth to come home and buy land or start a business and have, again, better control of my life. Now, kings and the Pope, these guys are after some power. The Pope trying to exercise his power over the kings by getting them to come do his bidding, so to speak. And he's actually hoping to, take over control of the eastern part of the Christian faith, the Eastern Orthodox part. The kings want to gain power for themselves to become more powerful kings than they already are. Okay, looking at the Crusades, we've got the what the Muslims call the Christians infidels, unbelievers, infidel, meaning they don't believe in Muhammad and the latest revelation. Christians would have called the Muslims heretics, someone who don't believe official church teachings because, well, Muhammad's not part of that. And the most famous of the Muslim generals in the Crusades is a guy by the name of Saladin. Saladin the Magnificent. We said he's the guy who unites the Muslim forces and eventually defeats the Crusaders. That's what we need to know for your study guide. Okay, here's Saladin on his very cushy throne here, meeting the Bishop of Salisbury. And then, of course, one of our most famous Crusader kings is Richard I, Richard the Lionheart, son of Henry II, brother of King John. He's the Crusader king that struggles on alone against Saladin, as we said today in class. That was the Third Crusade, the Crusade of the Three Kings. Barbarossa from Germany drowns in a river. Philip from France gets mad and goes home. Richard struggles on alone. Now realize Richard is really more French than English, doesn't even speak English, although he becomes the king of England. And there's Richard there, looking quite magnificent in battle. Okay, now really one of the importance of the Crusades, and this is something we need to know, and this is from the PowerPoint in class, but there were other attempts after the Fourth Crusade, which was a complete disaster up until 1270. More attempts, none of these are successful in getting back into the Holy Land. The last of the four Crusader states falls in 1291, and that's sort of the end of their attempts to control that area until much later. It was, however, an expression of European power outside of Europe for the first time since the fall of the Roman Empire in the West in 476. It also familiarizes them with Islam and the Byzantine world and their expansion of Greek and Roman knowledge. While the monks may have preserved that knowledge in copying those books down, they were mostly locked away from public consumption because they weren't important for the future world. They thought more the Bible was important for that. So the church is controlling knowledge, so to speak. But the merchants who take the Crusaders down there start trading, and they see these things and interactions and get some more things. More knowledge comes back and information, and there's going to be a radical change in Europe as a result of the Crusades. It also strengthens the role of the church, at least in the West, because there are actually a lot of nobles die on Crusades, and the result, that's going to help strengthen the hierarchy of the church over the other remaining nobles. However, it will also lead to more powerful monarchs in Europe because some of the nobles, their lords that served beneath them, are now gone, and so they'll start consolidating that land back into their own holdings. And also importantly, it will enrich Italy, the Italian city-states. We talked about Venice in class and their use of the Fourth Crusade to crush their rivals and sack Constantinople, which we're supposed to be trying to help, and I'm not sure how that really works. But anyway, that will lead to a rebirth of knowledge and desire of knowledge and wisdom and building and success and art in Europe that will come to become later known as the Renaissance. That's all for Chapter 9. That should answer all the questions on your study guide. Any questions, see me in class.